Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg. I'm a personal bankruptcy attorney here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I wanted to bring you up to date on a recent Supreme Court decision that does affect Chapter 7 personal bankruptcy. It's kind of unusual for the Supreme Court to consider personal bankruptcy cases, but they did. And this is on a lien stripping case, the Caulkett case. And basically the question is whether or not a Chapter 7 debtor can strip a fully unsecured lien in Chapter 7. And unfortunately, I have to report to you that the Supreme Court decided that you cannot strip a lien. And let me tell you what that means and why that's important. First of all, to understand what it means to strip a lien, it's this. Let's say that you have a house that's worth $100,000 and you have a first mortgage that is $110,000, you owe $110,000, and you have a second mortgage or a home equity line of credit of, let's say, $20,000. Well, because the first mortgage of $110,000 is more than the value of the property, that second mortgage, that $20,000 home equity line of credit, is basically unsecured, meaning that there's no property for it to attach to. So if you were to sell your house, you could pay off the first, almost, you couldn't pay it 100% off, you could pay off most of the first mortgage, but you couldn't pay off the second at all. So in Chapter 13 in that situation, we're allowed to do what is called a lien strip. We can basically say this second mortgage, this home equity line of credit, is fully unsecured, therefore we can strip it away and treat it like a credit card debt, treat it like a signature loan. And for a while, we could do that in Chapter 7. The 11th Circuit, which is where we are here in Atlanta, basically said that you can do a lien strip in a Chapter 7 case. Other places in the country, the circuit courts, federal courts said, no, you can't. So because there was a split in the circuits, the Supreme Court took up the case. And in this particular case, they decided that Chapter 7 does not allow for a lien strip. So what that means is that if you have a house that has lost value, maybe because of the real estate recession or because something happened, whatever the reason may be, but the house is worth less, not just less than the first mortgage, but it's also worth so little that the second mortgage has no equity to attach to at all, that basically your options would be to either fund and continue paying mortgages for a house worth way less than the debt, or to surrender the house. And obviously what I'll recommend my clients now is if you're that underwater in your house, just surrender it. Now, my opinion, not that the Supreme Court really cares, but my opinion that this is a bad decision as a matter of policy, because I think that we have a situation where there's a lot of properties out there that there's no equity in those properties, and the people are kind of hanging on to them because they want to keep their house. But if they have a second mortgage or a home equity line of credit, they're so far underwater now, they can't get rid of it in Chapter 7. Chapter 13 may not make any sense for them, that they're just going to walk away. And so what we're going to start seeing is more situations where neighborhoods are going to have empty, vacant, basically vandalized houses because people just are walking away. There's no reason to try to save their house, or they're going to surrender them in Chapter 7. I think if the court had allowed people to strip away these liens, you would have had more incentive for folks to stay in their house and try to make a go of it. And I will say that the Bankruptcy Code does allow for these, what they call cram downs, reducing the debt to the value of a property in motor vehicles, with furniture, that sort of thing. So it's not unprecedented. For a variety of legal reasons, the court felt like you should not be able to do that for a mortgage in a Chapter 7. Again, I think as a matter of policy, it's not a very good decision, but that's what we have to live with. So again, if you come see me and you're really underwater in your mortgage, I would probably tell you that it makes sense to think about surrendering that property and walking away, other than trying to save your house, because you'll be paying on a house that you have no equity in and no hope for equity for years and years, and that just doesn't make a lot of economic sense. As much as nobody wants to give up their house, I'd rather see you give up your house and start over again than to be tied to an underwater property for years and years. So in any case, hope this has been helpful. Again, I'm sorry to bring you that bad news, but that's the way it is, and we will have to just live with that. So if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please also visit our website and our blog. Any questions you've got, please call my office, 770-393-4985, and I will see you next time. Thanks a lot.